Hi everybody, this is Sheldon St. Clair and this is the twice weekly Project Management Today show. Now, my apologies for coming on so late, 10 past 8. The previous program overran a little, well, it overran a lot and that kind of cut into my broadcast. Methinks that they may need some project management training as well, don't you folks? So anyway, okay, so we've got 20 minutes. And today's show we shall be talking about stakeholder management. Okay, it's a key discipline as a project manager. You need to become skilled at, and also in your work environment, in a non-project management environment, stakeholder management is a I think a pretty key skill to know about, to be familiar with. Okay. Hi Susan, hiya. Hope you've had a good week so far. Right, okay, so why stakeholder management? Now it's important when you're running a project, let's talk about projects, but even in a work environment, so we'll start with projects. In a project, you need to know the people who can help you deliver your project, or those people who can scupper your project. You need to know who to share information with and at what level. I suppose even in a working environment, you need to people that you work with, people that you work for, people who work for you. You need to know kind of how likely are they, well, can they be an aid to what you're looking to achieve? Can they be an aid to help you fulfill your vision, fulfill your mission, fulfill your goals? Yeah, those people, whoever they are called stakeholders. Okay, and that's kind of like what we're going to be talking about today. Good stakeholder management, even in a non-project environment, can enable you to keep your job, can enable you to get promoted, and it can enable you to further your career. It's not just about projects, it can be used anywhere. And we'll be talking about kind of what we mean by that and how you can actually create your own stakeholder register. Okay, great. Okay, so I've got a list, I'm actually prepared today and I've got kind of like some of my notes that I'll be going through. Yeah, so in terms of when, again, from a project context, when would you start thinking about stakeholder management? Now, remember that a project life cycle goes through about 5 phases. Startup, what are we going to do? Initiation, hello, we've got a project. Here's the money, here's the project manager. Planning, okay, in planning, what does my comms plan look like? What does my schedule look like? What does my budget plan look like? What does my stakeholder plan look like? Okay, so it's done in planning. Okay, and also the inputs that you need into coming up with a stakeholder plan is your business case, because that will identify people. Project charter, because that will identify people. And also, if you're holding workshops, if you're having meetings, again, these will identify people who could be your future or current stakeholders. Okay, so stakeholders are really, for example, what's a stakeholder? As I say, it's someone that you, in a project context, people who report into you, they're all your stakeholders because they can influence and impact the successful delivery of your project. But also staff within the organization, managers within the organization, IT people within the organization. Who else? The project sponsor, the project champion, IT support. You get the picture. Everyone that this project touches, impacts, influences in some way is a stakeholder. Okay. In your work environment, say that you're a coach, for instance, or you're a public speaker, your stakeholders will be the event promoter. Okay. They can impact the work that you do. In an office environment, okay, staff that work for you, people that you report into. If you're on a project within the office, people who are seconded into your team, they are stakeholders. The people who delivered these people to you, they're stakeholders as well. Okay, now, okay, so you get the picture, kind of, there's lots of people. Now, what do we do with them? What do we do with them? I would suggest, well, what I do is to create a stakeholder register. So I'm capturing in one place, normally an Excel spreadsheet, and in one place details and information about each stakeholder. So an Excel spreadsheet, if you can imagine, you're going to have columns of information and you're going to have rows of individuals. Okay, however many you can think of, you can always cull them and shorten them later. Okay, so therefore we've got our register. What does our register look like? What is the what kind of column should we have? Well, what kind of column? Yeah, what columns? Yeah, what column should we have? I'm trying to get kind of like where I am. So you need the person's name. Yeah, who are they? What's their job title? Okay, what's their role in the project? Are they support staff? Are they business people? Are they members of your project team? Okay. Also, what's the email address to get hold of them? What's the telephone number to get hold of them? And also, what's their interest area? What's the interest that they have in your project? Okay. Are they involved in your project for security aspects? Are they involved in your project for risk aspects, or the plan, or strategy, or legal, or finances? You know, what's their involvement? And you've got to be pretty clear in your own mind, you know, kind of like what their interest area is. Because if kind of like there's somebody that's interested, that you know that's interested in your project from a planning aspect, well, there's no point in sending them information about risk and issues or about money, yeah, or about kind of like alignment. So you need to tailor your message to what their interest is. Now you've got, and secondly, what you can also do is to start grading each. Hi Elizabeth. Hi Roxanne. So you need to start kind of like grading each stakeholder that's in your on your project. How important are they to you? How important are they to the successful delivery of your project? Okay, are they a key player? And we'll kind of come on to that later in terms of what that means. But are they a key player in your project? Are they there for active consultation? Are they just kind of like interested from a hands-off point of view? Do they just need to be kept informed? Okay, so that you need to know what their interest is in your project and how important they are, and that will give you a sense on how much interaction should I have with this person. Because remember, as a project manager, about 80–90% of your work, believe it or not, is dealing with communication in one set or another. People used to think that, okay, if I can plan, if I can produce a pretty diagram showing a project starting from here and ending down here, I'm a great project manager. And that might have been true 10, 20 years ago. But now it's all psychological. It's all about reading people, knowing what people want, knowing who your audience is, and delivering a message that the audience, the particular audience, will say, okay, then this guy knows what he's doing. I trust what he's doing. I've got confidence in with what he's doing. Okay, I can support that person. I won't try and scupper whatever that person is doing. Okay, so therefore, so those are kind of. Have I got any other? Yeah, I think those are kind of. Yeah, that's basically it. So therefore, the 8 things. Again, if you've got pen and paper, you can write these down. So we're talking about kind of constructing a stakeholder register where you will capture the details of all your potential stakeholders. So it's the name, the job title, what their role is in the project, their email and telephone number, What are their requirements and expectations of your project? What's their interest area in your project? What is their influence in your project, and what's the potential impact of their involvement in your project? But this, as I say, this can apply to you in a work environment as well. Yeah, in a work environment, are you keeping a record of who your potential stakeholders are? You know, if you're looking kind of like to get promoted in a job, do you know who can influence that? Or do you know who could have a potential, a bad or a negative impact on your desire to become promoted? If you want to move from one environment to another environment, or again, what do you know the people that could help you or hinder you? Okay. Right, okay, so let's kind of look at, yeah, and also who would actually kind of like put together the stakeholder register? It would normally be the project manager. Okay, so it's their job, and in a company, you. Okay. Let me read some message. Or let me read a message from Roxanne. Level of influence in a project is very useful to know. Yes. So therefore, my apologies. I'm running out of batteries. Okay. Right. Yeah. So therefore, thanks Roxanne for that. A level of influence is important, and there's this notion of producing a stakeholder map, and this is where you say for each person, what's their influence? Is it high? Is it medium? Is it low? And what's the potential impact that they might have on your project? Again, is it high? Is it medium? Is it low? And then you can start kind of like, juggling things around. If you've got a person who has a high influence on your project and the potential for impact on your project, positive or negative, is high as well, then that person is a key individual. Okay, and bear with me. Yeah, and you need, my apologies for that, and you need strong buy-in from that. Oh, okay, Roxanne just sent a message. What if you don't know their level of influence? Okay, that's a good question. As you start to identify your stakeholders, i.e. People who have an involvement in your project, people who you may report into, people who may report into you, staff and users, it's your role as a project manager to find out, to ask questions. Okay, you've got your project sponsor, you've got your project champions. They will be able to provide an input into that question, because that's a very important question. Oh, I aspire to achieve global TV. If you look through your business case document, if you look through the project charter document, again, they leave clues as to what their level of influences are. Also, if you're kind of like producing a kind of like, you're producing software, producing hardware, or you're producing policy documents, the people that's going to use it, they will have a high level of interest or high level of influence in your project because they can accept it or reject it. The project sponsor, again, will have a high level of influence because they're the ones responsible for the successful delivery of the project from a board perspective. They're the ones who own the business case, and they're the ones that you report into. The department that this piece of software, this policy document, this piece of hardware is feeding into, again, they will have a high level of influence and can impact your project. So they say that success leave clues. Well, level of influence leave clues as well. So talk to people, look through your business case document, look through your project charter. when you convene meetings, when you carry out workshops, when you carry out seminars, again, within there you'll have that information. Okay, so hopefully I've kind of answered that question. Right, yeah. So I think. Okay, we've got 5 minutes. We've got 5 minutes left. Okay, so a call to action for yourselves is to actually think about this and think about, okay, how can I utilize this? Even if you're not a project manager, you work for a bank, you work in a market, you work in a shoe shop, you work in retail, what have you. Start to identify who are the people who can impact my success or my failure in my job, in my project, in my promotional prospects, in my job security. Who are those individuals? Okay, and then kind of like start to say, okay, then this person may have an impact on what I do. But even your boss, your line manager, will have an impact on your success or failure. And then you look at, okay, what's their level of influence? What's the level of impact? Is it high? Is it medium? Is it low? And therefore, okay, then what do I need to do? If they exert, if they exert a high level of impact, well, I need strong buy-in from them. I need to actively engage with them. I need to maintain their interest in what I'm doing. Or I may need just to keep them informed, but at least you're aware. Well, if you're an entrepreneur, Roxanne, if you're an entrepreneur, your stakeholders are your customer, and they can provide feedback to you. You can solicit feedback from them in terms of, these goods, these services, do you use it? Is it of interest to you? Do you conduct polls as an entrepreneur? Do you conduct surveys as an entrepreneur to gather information? Because you should be, to be honest, because customers are your lifeblood. Your suppliers, your vendors, third parties, your accountant, your legal person, your health and safety person. If you're an entrepreneur, a large organisation, your HR individual, your accountant. Yeah? These are all stakeholders. And how are you treating them? Do you know how valuable they are or they're not to your success? If you've got an accountant and he's a tax specialist, but you don't know that, and you don't engage with them unless it's kind of like year end, then how are you getting the best out of them? How are you getting cutting edge information from them? How are you getting best practice information from them? Yeah, so, those are the things. A lot of it's common sense. But as I say, common sense isn't always common. But it's really a case of collating them on an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document. These are the people who are important to what I do. I now recognise that. Okay, well, we've run out of time now. So I hope you found this useful. If you have, please like, comment and share. I'm back on Saturday at 10 a.m. and we'll be exploring the wonderful world of the